Course.
Now, we're joined now by Kerry Alexandra from the BBC News website, and I know we've been having wonderful pictures that people watching have sent in to us, but what are you hearing?
It's been a little bit cloudy. A few people have been struggling to see it in various areas of the country, but lots and lots of people have been up early, out watching it. Children's in schools, some university students particularly were up early on a roof in Liverpool to see it. They're having breakfast on the roof watching it.
This is the first eclipse in this country where there's been social media, where people have had camera phones. We're being inundated with images, aren't we?
We are. It's been absolutely manic this morning. People are really keen. They're really excited about it. We had a story up yesterday and people have been getting in touch saying what they were going to do yesterday, last night and this morning, sending in their pictures of them watching it, of the eclipse itself, and just letting us know what they're up to, really.
And has there been a particular sort of geographical bias? Have we had more in from certain parts of the country which perhaps have had a better view?
No, absolutely not. It's been all across. Some of them just sending pictures of it being cloudy there and of them being out and about watching it, but it has been really all over the country, people getting involved, even if they haven't had a great view themselves.
And have people been giving you a sense of how it's made them feel as well? Because some people have been describing what a sort of disturbing feeling that you can get from experiencing this.
People have talked to us about how quiet it's been, that birds have gone quiet and then it's just seemed slightly sort of eerie and otherworldly, and talking about the last time they saw one in 1999. I was in fact at school when that was, so quite a long time ago, but yeah.
Yes, thanks for that, Kerry. And in terms of this being a UK event, this is something that captures the imagination of people around the world. So a lot of people are going to, well, what Twitter accounts are they going to find out what's been going on?
Do you know what? Actually, the BBC UK News is the second most popular. People everywhere are retweeting that, are looking at what we're putting out and are really, really keen with the content there.
Well, as I said, Eclipse mania has gripped the country, as Kerry was telling us as well, with many viewers very kindly sending us in their images, and I'm going to show you some of them here. This is Andrew Houghton. He sent this what's the word I'm looking for?
Picture?
Picture, that's the word I'm looking for. He's from Newark. That was at about 8:30 this morning, and you can see that the moon appears to be taking a bite out of the sun.
And school children from Cornwall, as we've been seeing this morning, they've been gathering, and there's an image taken safely. We have been emphasising the safety message as people take care as they look at that amazing image of the solar eclipse this morning.
That looks like the sun is smiling in that one. That's from Chrissy Day. This from Charles Simpson. He had a clear view because of excellent clear skies in Lincoln.
And to watch it safely, as we've been saying, Jackie Maxwell used a welder's mask. We'll see that in just a moment. That's a picture from Lee Morton in Leeds.
That's spectacular, isn't it?
With the clouds appearing, it actually adds to the effect.
Yeah, it makes it very atmospheric. Where next? Not that it's not nice to see Lee Morton. Ah, there is Jackie Maxwell with her welder's mask. She used that to look at the eclipse safely. Some people have been using special glasses, other people looking through a colander, but Jackie improvising rather magnificently there. Not sure all of us will have that under the stairs, but good job she did.
There was high cloud in Aberdeen, and that's either a very, very big bird or a remarkable image, nevertheless, of the solar eclipse there from Aberdeen. That's Carl Melia who sent that.
And in Newcastle, cloudy skies also parted for Martin Gordon. As we were saying earlier, it's hard to believe that you're actually looking at the sun there, aren't you, not the moon.
And in Leicestershire, Nigel Hancock wasn't the only one enjoying the image from his solar projector. Oh, no eye cover at all. Anyway, let's rejoin Kerry Alexandra from the BBC News website. And it is remarkable that, and only through the day will we be able to judge this, but how an event that captures the public imagination like this, people do want to share, and we are now in a Twitter, a Facebook age.
We are. There's been more than 70,000 tweets this morning, well, in the last 24 hours, but it's been really peaking this morning with lots and lots of people tweeting the pictures of where they are.
What they won't have seen for themselves was this image we brought you earlier on BBC, this moment of totality, which was absolutely stunning. The ring, as its diamond ring, as it's described the moment just before totality, with the images being taken from a plane flying above the clouds, this above the Faroe Islands. Now,
sorry, Simon, after you.
well, this is it, the moment that they're now watching in Norway, the moment of totality. This is Svalbard, which, as you can see, again, remarkable images of the ring, the solar flares and the solar spots, visible as the moon covers the surface of the sun.
And our science correspondent Jonathan Amos was telling us earlier that corona that you can see, which is obviously from the sun, he was saying that that's actually hotter than the surface of the sun itself. That's one of the things that scientists are looking at today. A lot of scientists taking advantage of this solar eclipse in order to conduct all sorts of experiments, while the rest of us just, well, frankly, look at it and enjoy it and gasp, actually. It's so magnificent, isn't it?
Kerry, as we look at these live images, it's interesting how Twitter also, there are some images appearing on Twitter which aren't quite what they seem. An image that was reportedly from the International Space Station, which is being retweeted many, many thousands of times, now looks to be a fake. So we see the weakness of social media just as much as we see the strength at an event like this.
The image you're talking about is actually the most popular image that's been retweeted this morning.
Is it really?
At the top in the analytics this morning. But here at the BBC, we're very careful with the checks we make. We reverse image search things, and we do our research properly to make sure that we don't put out images that aren't what they appear to be.
These are the pictures in Norway. As you can see, the moon moving slowly across the surface of the sun. A total eclipse can be really an eerie and disturbing experience, as well as a magnificent sight. Effectively, day is turning to night. We've had some reports that birds stop singing and the sun's shimmering corona atmosphere is revealed.
Well, as we see the passing of the Bailey's beads, which were visible at the fringe, now the diamond ring reappears as we go to black. We'll return to the images, but you'll no doubt share our view, there it is, that this has been a remarkable morning, and for all the cynicism out there about events like this, it is a moment where science and nature combine to just make us think about our place, perhaps. Moments to reflect as we show you these live images from Norway, as the moon begins its journey across the surface of the sun, marking the beginning of the end of this. It has been described as a once-in-a-lifetime event. A lot of you tweeting and say that it absolutely can't be because I've seen it before. But it's the first such event this century, certainly. And for those of you who will be around in 2019, next time it happens here in the UK, I wish you well with that.
Jonathan Amos, our science correspondent, was telling us that, of course, these do happen in different parts of the world. So he thinks that next year there will be an eclipse in Asia. But for us here in Northern Europe and the UK, there won't be another partial eclipse on this kind of scale until 2026. And as Simon says, not a total eclipse until 2090.
One of the more disturbing images this morning has been of John Maguire in his solar eclipse glasses. He's just taken them off, but I'm going to take us down to Newlyn. At least you were wearing them, and it does seem most people who've witnessed this thing have seen something that they will never forget.
I think that's absolutely right. I was just thinking, you know, as you were reading the introduction, 2090, Simon, I reckon you'll definitely still be going in 2090, and hopefully I will too, who knows. Yeah, we're just getting the end of things. We were very lucky here in West Cornwall in that we got the very beginning of the eclipse as it moved, as it tracked basically sort of northwards. So 8:18 was the very first idea that we had, that there was just a little snippet being taken out of the edge of the sun. And now what we're seeing, if you just have a look at our other eclipse camera, lovely, lovely blue skies, clear, and again you can see the moon has just moved off the sun there, and there's just a little bite out of the other edge of it. It's been a very, very good show. I think it's probably the best way to describe it. Nathan Main from the University of Exeter. This is the type of thing that you study all day long, but having seen it on the ground, what did you reckon?
Yeah, it's actually, got to be honest, it's kind of reinvigorated me as well. Yeah, when you do it for a living, you sometimes lose sight of how awesome it is. And tonight, or today rather, seeing it and being able to view it through the telescopes here with the guys as well, it's been really great, yeah.
And we've seen a couple of really interesting things. Tell us about the sunspot. That was so visible for such a long time. They're always there, but we can never see them. Why is that?
Yeah, that's right. So on the surface of the sun, there are regions where it's cooler, and it's basically the magnetic field of the sun sort of suppressing the temperature, if you like. And normally you can't see that because the sun's so bright. But as the eclipse happened, it got darker. We were able to pick out that area that was cooler, a little sunspot that tracked across. It was really quite amazing.
It really was. Let's just wander across and see the guys here. Gareth from the Cornwall Astronomy Society. You had some great shots earlier, didn't you? Something that we weren't expecting to see.
Yeah.
What did you see? What was your highlight of the morning?
Well, highlight's got to be the eclipse.
Of course.
And just lovely to see the moon going across the sun's disk and seeing some of the mountains on the moon, some of the features on the side of the moon, and then in this one seeing some of the prominences coming off the sun itself as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a sunspot that we've been watching this morning that disappeared obviously when the moon went across, and it's just come back into view again.
So, you can see the sunspot now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's been really magnificent. Thanks very much. Thanks, Gareth. The size of that sunspot, I think somebody was telling me earlier, and some of the solar flares that we saw as well, you can fit planet Earth 5 times into it. That gives you an idea of the scale. Hello, you've been here since very early, haven't you?
Yeah.
Almost as long as we have, actually.
Yes.
What do you reckon?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Atmosphere was fantastic, and you provided the glasses, which was very appreciated.
You used some of our glasses,
yes,
did you?
I did, yeah.
Well, I'm
it
glad
was
we could be
brilliant,
of
yeah.
service to you.
Yeah.
And it was quite spooky when it sort of got cold and it got a bit darker. What did you make of that?
Oh, it was good, yeah. It was spooky, like you said, and you didn't expect that, the atmosphere, and everybody sort of went quiet, didn't they?
It was, yes.
But yeah, it was good, yeah.
It was a little bit quiet. And can I have a chat with you? Do me a favour, take your sunglasses off so that we can see you there. We're not looking at the sun, are we? Which is a good thing. We shouldn't be doing that with sunglasses anyway. What have you thought of the morning?
It's amazing. Lovely atmosphere, and didn't it go cold?
Yes. About 3
Shaking
degrees, we
with-
reckon.
I know,
It
and
really
it was
got
me
cold.
wearing shorts, yes, I was
Yeah.
shaking with the cold, but
Yeah.
wasn't it worth it?
It really was. And were you here in '99?
I was just further along, not that we saw anything, because it poured with rain and it was cloudy.
The big difference, thank you ladies, really nice to talk to you this morning. The big difference in '99, of course, was that what we were looking out for was that this was on the line of totality, the path of totality. So what we really wanted was the total eclipse. So if you didn't see the total eclipse, the corona of the sun, Bailey's beads, the diamond ring, the type of thing that you've just been talking about, then I think you felt robbed really because the cloud had come across. But this morning we have had a wonderful show, and we're just about, I don't know, I thought a little while ago actually we'd get about another 20 minutes out of it. I think we're probably going to get just around about a little bit more, I'm not sure. But things winding down here, just in front of Newlyn Art Gallery. Most people, I think, have had a really good view. Have a look at this one. This is Greg's telescope over here. Really good. Look at that. Very impressive telescope. And he's been letting locals come in and have a look. Just next to the statue of this fisherman here, that tells you that we're in Newlyn, a historic fishing port. We saw one of the trawlers heading out this morning. He would have had an unrivaled view, I should think, this morning of the eclipse. But yeah, I would say all in all, very much here the people of West Cornwall, the people in Newlyn, satisfied customers. So we'll probably see them back in 2026, or maybe you and I, Simon, will be back in 2090.
You may well be a tour guide for Newlyn at that point, I think. John McGuire, thank you very Thank you, John.
That was John McGuire in Newlyn. We've had cameras across the United Kingdom, and let's take you, I think, to the furthest northerly point of the UK. This was the Faroe Islands. These are recorded pictures, but at about 9:45, so just over half an hour ago, the eclipse reached its peak there, and you can see the moon moving across the sun there and obscuring the sun 100%, and then that shimmering ring of the sun's corona on the outside of it there. Magnificent sight. It's not been the same story across the UK. Elsewhere we've seen more of a picture of the moon nibbling chunks out of the sun, looking almost like a smiling face. But these pictures, as I say, within the last half an hour from the Faroe Islands, that's really the furthest northerly point of the UK, and an absolutely spectacular sight there as the eclipse reached its peak and obscured the sun 100% in totality.
So a morning of quite stunning images. Kerry Alexandra from the BBC News website is still with us, and the work is not done because someone's going to compile all these.
Absolutely. I've been feeding them into the live page this morning so that you could follow it as it was happening across the country, and then this afternoon I will collate the best ones that you've been sending us into a gallery which will be on the website for you to see.
At bbc.co.uk.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Kerry, thank you very much. Kerry Alexandra there from the BBC News website.
We're still watching these pictures, or you're watching them with us, of the eclipse in the Faroe Islands, rather the furthest northerly point of the UK. As I say, we've had cameras across the country, but this really was the most spectacular sight, because this was the moment that the moon went across the surface of the sun, and we obscured the sun. But this magnificent shimmering corona that we saw, we've seen some magnificent pictures that you've sent to us as well.
Well, those are the Bailey's beads visible at the fringe of the eclipse as it reached totality, and the valleys and crescents on the moon are visible for one of the few times astronomers are able to see those through special equipment as the moon obscures the sun in totality. A remarkable moment where nature comes to a standstill, and many people tweeting, oh, forgive the pun, about the birds going silent as the eclipse came across. So we'll leave that for the moment. It has been quite something. I hope we've given you a fair feel of what it's been like across the UK and parts of Northern Europe this morning. And our thanks also to our colleagues at BBC One for that special programme from Dara Breen and Brian Cox.